Good morning, Lamp. Good morning, Wilo Gamer Pro. Good to see you guys. Y'all are here early. Oh yeah, we got the coffee. We're locking in, you know. Let's see. So we've got the Discord events already created. Finally live. Come on, I was like a minute late. I was like 1 minute late. Cut me some slack, you know? I tell you what, the 15 minutes before 4 o'clock and 4:15, they go by really fast. Lamp. I'm trying to make the actual distro right now. Oh, that's cool, man. I hope you're having fun. By the way, did you solve your computer problems? I did. So I posted about this in the Discord, but it was the most random thing. I literally, all I did, so that morning I had all the issues with the computer. I obviously wanted to stream, so I ditched that computer. So I basically disconnected all of it from all the wires, and I just set it off to the side over here. And it sat there for probably 2 hours. I don't know, 2, 3 hours. And then I just picked it up, plugged it all back in, turned it on, and it booted just fine. So will we ever know what happened? I don't know. Will it happen again? Maybe. You know. So I have no idea. It's the weirdest thing ever. Oh, I need to pin a message. That's what I was like, I know I'm forgetting something. There we go. Pin that. Here we got our music. Let's see, Discord's up. What else? I think that's it. I think I'm all organized. Uh, oh, we should probably see if we have any member changes. Let's see, we still have 104 members, which is good. Although I think there's going to be a huge drop off in members in 24 days. No, not 24 days. 8 days. Because we have a bunch of members that were gifted. So I'm guessing in 8 days we're going to need to make sure we definitely update the scroll bar. So don't let me forget. Otherwise, I guess we'll jump into some programming. Some coding. Yeah. Best part. Okay, so we're going to do 2 things today. We're going to spend about an hour and a half on not learn go a test. We're going to spend an hour and a half trying to solve some admin of code problem from last year. And then we're going to spend about an hour and a half or so, or an hour, working on our links project. So we're going to be here, and we're going to be here today. And that's the plan. What problem should we do? I guess we could just do 19. I haven't done day 19 either. We did day 18 yesterday. Let's see, CD, practice, go. And then we'll do, whoops, create a new tab. How are y'all doing this morning? Good? That's how you solve computer problems: reboot or unplug and plug again. plug again the computer. Yeah. Yeah, somebody, after I posted that in Discord, someone was like, first rule of tech support. I was just pretty surprised that it worked, you know? Are you having some difficulty installing Linux? Nice. Yeah, I guess welcome to your life of trying to build a Linux distro. You should probably settle in there, I Love Lamp. Just get real comfy in the shit. Alright, what's the name of this problem? Linen layout. Make directory linen layout. I love it when I love Lamp. I love it when you and Artwork Studios are doing something. You guys give us like the play-by-play. You literally just like dictate the play-by-play into the chat. I'm installing it. Damn it, it didn't work. I'm retrying. It looks like it's working. It worked. I think I'm gonna try AOC this year. I'm learning Python, so I'm gonna try it with that, or I can also try old AOCs. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would do. I mean, the fun thing about doing this year's AOC is just being a part of the group of people that are doing it. Right? It's in the holiday times are here. You know what I mean? It's just like a fun activity to do. But yeah, you can definitely do the old problems as well if you just want practice, like I'm doing. Python sounds like a good language to do it in. Lots of people do it in Python every year, I think. I mean, lots of people do it in a lot of languages every year, but Python always seems very, very popular. Okay, so I don't know what our expected is, but we're going to have an expected, which is going to be something. We'll just set that to -1 at the moment. We're going to have a result, which is going to be equal to solution. Solve part 1. And then we'll say if result does not equal expected, we want to fail the test. Got %d, but wanted %d. Result expected. Alright, now let's read our problem. Well, actually, stub out these files. Alright, now let's see what the problem is. Today, the historians take you up to the hot springs on... Almost forgot, my coffee's gonna get cold. What's up, 199? Good morning. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Also, I always say good morning. I know it's not probably morning for everybody, but I'm sorry, guys. For me, it's morning. Absolutely nothing goes wrong as they begin Their careful search of the vast fields of helixes. It's 10:27 a.m., so still morning. Nice. Okay, cool. You're only a few hours ahead of me. Could this finally be our chance to visit the onsen next door? Only one way to find out. After a brief conversation with the reception staff at the onsen front desk, you discover that you don't have the right kind of money to pay the admission fee. About to disappear for a bit, working shit? Yeah, no worries, man. Thanks for stopping in and just saying hi. I appreciate that. Hello, 6'7" Alaska. Good to see you. Let's see. However, before you leave, the staff get your attention. Apparently, they've heard about how you helped at the hot springs, and they're willing to make a deal. If you can simply help them arrange their towels, they'll let you in for free. What? Okay. Every towel is marked with a pattern of colored stripes. There are only a few patterns, but for any particular pattern, the staff can get you as many towels with that pattern as you need. Each stripe can be white, blue, black, red, or green. So a towel with the pattern GGR would have a green stripe, and then a red stripe in that order. You can't reverse a pattern by flipping a towel upside down, as that would cause the logo to face the wrong way. The official onsen branding expert has produced a list of designs, each a long sequence of striped colors that they would like to be. This is such a bizarre situation. You can use any towels you want, but all the towel stripes must exactly match the desired design. So, to display the design RGR, you could use two RG towels and then an R towel, and an RGR towel and then a GR towel, or even a single RGR towel, okay? Assuming each towel pattern were actually available. To start, collect together all the available towel patterns and the list of the desired designs. For example, R, WR, BG, blah, blah, blah. The first line indicates the available towel patterns in this example. The onsen has unlimited towels with a single red stripe, unlimited towels with a white stripe, and then a red stripe, and so on. What? And this has unlimited towels with a single. The first line. Oh, never mind. Okay, I see what it's saying. I'm like, what are we talking about here? After the blank line, the remaining lines each describe. This is like classic word puzzle shit. There's like there's so much nonsense in here that doesn't matter, and you're trying to pull out the bits that are important. Hey, Stefan, what's up, man? It's been a minute. Good to see you, dude. Hope you're doing well. Apparently, if you join a Discord GC, you can get hacked. What? I have no idea what you're talking about. King Bean. Hello, Mr. No-Nose. New News? What are you calling me? Mr. New News? New News? 6'7". Super Coffee, I call you? You call me Super Coffee? That's kind of an interesting nickname. In the above example, the designs are possible or impossible as follows. BRWRR can be made with a BR towel, and then a WR towel, and then finally an R towel. BGGR can be made with a B towel, two G towels, and an R towel. UBW is impossible. So why is UBW impossible? Huh? Because we don't have a U, we don't have a single U, or we don't have a UBW. Okay. All right. So I see what we're doing. In this example, 6 of 8 designs are possible with the available towel patterns. To get into the onsen as soon as possible, consult your list of towels, patterns, and designed patterns. Any designs are possible. All right. Well, this is our example input. I don't. So off the top of my head, reading this, I'm like, I don't even know. Um, there's some. It's some sort of problem where I guess you could look at this from we're trying to find. Yeah, off the top of my head, I'm kind of stumped. I know that's always a good sign. So in this example, there should be 6. I have no idea what you're talking about, King. That's the first time anyone's been in my chat and has called me that Mr. Whatever. It's random. 67, LOL. No, I am on empty energy and called a Pokemon in to give me energy. I choose you. Caffeine. Yes, feel free to like and subscribe to the stream if you'd like to write bug-free code. Alright, we know this isn't gonna work. Package main. We're gonna have a function. Solve part 1. Takes a file path and returns an int. Hey, what's up? It's Code. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Alright, this won't work again. Alright, so we got 0, but we want 6. So now, we must figure out what the problem is and how to solve it. Well, we know what the problem is, we just don't know how to solve it. Hold on, I gotta blow my nose real quick. Make it a slogan? Well, I mean, it kind of is, right? It's the slogan of the stream now. Can you please say, be careful, Abdul? There you go. I said it. I said it, man. I said the thing. Made my last and final car payment yesterday. Achievement unlocked. Dude, that is awesome. Congratulations, man. That feels so good. My wife and I paid off our car a week ago. Not a week ago. A year ago. Sorry. I don't know. I had to... My brain locked up there for a second. Like a year, maybe 2 years ago now. It's such a good feeling to get any amount of debt off your shoulders, man. So just congratulations, dude. That's awesome. Dungeon GDW. W indeed. W indeed. Alright. I don't have any idea what to do here. Okay, I guess first things first is that we can build a list of available patterns, right? So this could be a slice. I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see if like all right, let's think about this just from like a human perspective. How would a human do this, right? I never pay off my debt because I always procrastinate on payments. That's a dangerous game you're playing, Renee. That's a dangerous game procrastinating on payments, man. They'll come take your shit. Or at least here in the United States, they'll come take your shit. So I think the way a human would probably solve this is a human would probably say, um, is there anything that matches the complete pattern, right? Is there any towel up here? In which case you'd say no. And then maybe you would say, okay, is there anything that matches this pattern? Yes, there is. Great. And then you might say, is there anything? Yeah, I don't know. I think my mouse just died. What just happened? Can you guys still hear me? Yeah, okay. I have no idea what's happening. It's like my mouse disconnected. There you go, it's back. Oh, that was super weird. Alright, let's just make some progress. Let's not stare at this too long. Let's write some code. Let's make some progress. Maybe we'll figure it out. Alright, so we need our input, which is going to be a file. Yeah, your mouse got input lag. Yeah, I have no idea what happened there. It just actually like I couldn't like move my mouse. It was like it was disconnected from the computer. But it's back now. So we don't have to worry. We're gonna read all the lines. And then available patterns is going to be the first line. Right? Or no, 0. And then everything after that is going to be the patterns we want, or the designs we want to make with those patterns, I think. So we'll have designs, and designs will basically be a slice, and it will be from, we don't want 0 and 1, so I think we want 2 to the end is what we want. So let's say format, stop print line. Let's just make sure we have the right stuff. So we'll say available patterns. Six, 7 randomizer to the look of it. What's a randomizer? Renee, isn't there a character type we can use? I think so, yeah. I think Go has a character type. A char. I think they use single quotes for that. Yeah. Although I guess it's a type of rune. I didn't know that. Go rune versus char. String, bytes, and runes. Here's a breakdown of distinction. Other languages like C or Java, char often refers to a single character, typically represented by a fixed size byte or a small integer type. A rune in Go is an alias for int32. It represents a Unicode code point. This means a rune can store any single Unicode character, regardless of how many bytes it takes to represent it, in a UTF-8 encoded string. So yeah, I guess they don't have characters, but they have runes. Although I'm not sure why I'd want to use that, or why you're thinking we need that over just working with strings. Type Rooney. Yeah. Okay, yep. Looks like we have what we expected to have. So I'm gonna actually call this available. And then I'm gonna say available patterns is equal. Actually, hold on. I can do this better. Available patterns is actually equal to strings.split, and we're gonna split on a comma. Cool. So obviously we need to do a loop. Right? I mean, honestly, I have no idea where I'm going with this, guys. I'm trying to write code and see what comes out. Right, so we have a design, right? And in order to create that design, we need to see if this is my idea. My idea is to loop over the whole to start looping over the whole design, and to see if there's a match anywhere in here. Or maybe loop over each individual character and say, okay, is there an R? Great, use that. Is there another R? Great, use that. Is there a W? Oh, no? Okay, well, is there a WR? Excuse me. Or maybe we start with the longest, right? So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. String.length, break it up into char and see if it matches. Yeah. That's kind of where my mind, I don't 6-7, taking a set of characters, coding it as a randomizer type action, just thinking out loud. I think when you want to convert char to byte, it might affect it. Yeah, I mean, we saw that yesterday when we looped over each individual. When you loop over each individual thing in a string, you actually get back what is essentially a rune, which is really an alias for an int32, and so you have to actually cast that int or that rune to a string to actually see the string representation. So we kind of experienced that yesterday. Okay. I mean, I just feel like I'm going to have a lot of looping, right? A lot of nested loops, but once we have the design, we now want to check to see, okay, although I don't know if I want to do a loop. Like, couldn't I do like a, couldn't I turn available patterns into a map? And then I could just use a lookup, right? So I could just be like, available patterns D. And if there's a match, right? If this is something, then we increment our total. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna pick a path and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pick a hole and I'm gonna hit the hole and I'm gonna try to go score a touchdown. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong. Yeah, I'm thinking a map might be best. I think the first line is the tile design and the others is the other part of the puzzle answer. Yeah, the first line is what you have available to you, right? So you can use these patterns, and then this down here is the designs you want to make. So you're basically saying, can I build this design from the patterns that are available up here? And the answer for this one is yes, you can, because you can do a BR, a WR, and an R, or you could do an R, or an R, a WR, and a BR. So I think I'm going to use a map is what I think I'm going to do. So back where we're setting up our patterns, I'm going to do, yep. Yeah, it takes a minute to wrap your head around the problem in the first place, honestly. I mean, that's half the battle. It's just like trying to understand. There's a gentleman who does Advent of Code, or the last 2 years he's done Advent of Code on his YouTube. I think his name might be Steven too. He's an older guy. I think he's somewhere in Europe based on his accent. Let me see if I can find him. But it's so funny because he'll like record himself doing it, and it'll just be like a single shot, but he'll cut it up when there are moments where he gets stuck, and a lot of times he'll be like, okay, I just got back from taking a smoke break. So it's like, people this guy, Wikoslav Stefanovsky. Yeah, his if you want to go back and watch his old Advent of Code videos, you can. But he usually posts quite a few days from each day of Advent of Code, and I always enjoy his. He's very smart. He's obviously a very good programmer. Yeah, I always enjoy his stuff. So I'll link to his channel in the chat just in case you're interested. He'll probably start up again, I would imagine. He only posts Advent of Code content, which is kind of funny, but it's good. It's good stuff. Also, that is quite a name, isn't it? There you go. Are those 5-hour coding guide videos actually good for first learning to code? These right here, or are you just saying in general, Dungeon? Because these aren't 5-hour long videos, are they? These are all like 50-minute, 20-minute videos. Or are you talking about something else in general? Oh, in general. They can be. I mean, Free Code Camp has a lot of good long tutorial videos. I mean, you're probably not going to sit and do it all in one sitting, right? Like you're not going to sit in your chair for 5 hours and do it all in one go. But I mean, free education's free education. You know what I mean? Free Code Camp has tons of those type of hour-long videos. So yeah, I mean, the CS50 is good, man. If you've never watched CS50, you should sit down and watch CS50. But yeah, this could definitely be helpful. I think too, a lot of it has to do with like what type of learner are you? Some people like to just read from books, right? Um, some people need an interactive component. Some people like to consume via video, right? So if you're someone who likes to learn through videos, I think they'd be very helpful. You just have to make sure that you don't get stuck following a tutorial forever. You know what I mean? You gotta at some point get up and go and do your own thing so that you can grow. Haven't heard about CS50 since reading the book on it. Yeah, CS50 is awesome, man. David Malin is the man. I think he's one of the best lecturers I've ever heard. So how would I do this? I think what I would do is I would say, I wonder if, is there like a clever way I could do this? So I guess what I'm thinking is that we do available patterns is going to equal a map of string and bool. Excuse me. Did not mean to burp into your ears. Let's see, then we'll do for string, or no, for pattern in strings dot split input 0 split on a comma. We will say available patterns is equal to pattern. So we're just basically filling our map. That's all we're doing here. Expected Boolean. Oh, missing the range keyword there. Okay, then what I'm saying we can do is we can say yeah, so like right off the bat, if we have a pattern that identically matches the design, we're good. If we don't, then we have to start looping over the different, we have to basically start at one end of the string or one end of the design, and we have to successfully see if we can match bits of it. So it's almost like a pointer problem, right? So it's almost like this. Let me draw this to help me make sense of it. Oh my goodness. I think I know how to use this Scala draw by now. What's up, Born to Shine? How are you? Good to see you. Dungeon GD, thanks. Yeah, man, I wish you all the best on your learning journey. I'm always happy to throw in my 2 cents. I know everybody's learning journey is a little bit different, but always happy to share my thoughts. 6-7. I need to watch videos from Free Code Camp, rekindle the knowledge. I'm just starting to utilize the reading I did years ago into physical form. Yeah, Free Code Camp's great, and I think Quincy Larson, if you've ever heard him be interviewed, he actually has a really bigger vision for Free Code Camp than what's there today. You know, I think the vision for what they want to build is they want to build like an open source, freely available, like basically like a bachelor's degree of education, right? They obviously have focused a lot on coding and programming, right? But I think the bigger vision there is to have something more than just a curriculum that teaches you how to write code. I think I think if you talk to Quincy, his goal would be to be able to give somebody basically what is a bachelor's degree or an associate's degree that's accredited, right, for free. which is really cool. It's just a very cool. It's a very cool organization, a very cool mission. I think it's very altruistic to try to make that type of education or that type of content accessible to all people, right? That want it. Obviously, not everybody wants it, but for those that want it, they can get it. Born to Shine, I'm doing well, man. I hope you're doing well as well. I'm doing well, and I hope you are doing well as well. Okay, so if the design doesn't match, we basically find ourselves in this sort of a situation where what we should do is we should have an arrow here and an arrow here. And we should start on one, I think we should start on one end or the other, probably. And we keep track of where we're at, and we say, okay, is there an end in our available designs? Okay, there's not, so now we need to move one of these to here. And we say, okay, is there an RN in there? Great. If there is, then we move both to the next letter and start over. Does that make sense? Let's look at an actual concrete example here. So if I was on BRWRR, okay, obviously there's not a complete design for that. So I'd have to say, okay, let's start at R. Do we have a match for R? Yes, we do. Great. Now we'll look at this R. Do we have a match for R? Yes, we do. So let's look at W. Or should we start at the beginning of the string? Maybe it doesn't make sense to start at the end. Maybe we should start at the beginning. B, yes, we have it. R, yes, we have it. WR, yes, we have it. R, yes, we have it. Now the problem is that there could be at times more than one ways to achieve the same pattern, which maybe is what part 2 is about. Let's work through each of these and see if our algorithm makes sense. Let's do, okay, so B, G, G, R. So B, yes. G, yes. G, yes. R, yes. G, yes. B, yes. B, R, yes. Or B, yes. R. Because we're just going to go one character at a time. R, yes. R, R, yes. R, R, B, B, G, no, G, or yes, G, yes, B, yes, R, R. Yeah, so I mean, if we go one character at a time, we can definitely do it. But it's gonna be more iterations than what we need to do, right? Because like, for example, if you go character by character here, you're gonna have to iterate once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. But if you actually looked for the longest match, you would only have to iterate thrice, because you could say G, B, and BR. So maybe there's a more optimized solution, because we're basically finding, what is it? We're basically finding the longest pattern that will match a piece of our design. Huh. That's kind of an interesting way to look at it. if we were to, so let's think about this from a different perspective. If we were to order these by length, right? If we were to order these by length, and we were to loop over these, and we were to check to see if this string contains one of these, and if it does, we remove it. Would that work? So in this scenario, we loop over BWU. Well, that's not there. We loop over RB. Oh, that's not there. We loop over GB. Well, that's not there. We loop over BR. BR is there. We remove it. Then we start over. Oh, okay. I'm going to try that. That seems like it might be easier than what I had in mind. So, how can I sort in Go? How do I sort things by sort strings longest to shortest, like this? Oh, in Go. I'm guessing there's some sort of sort function that I can pass sort the slice of strings by length in descending order. So we call sort dot slice. We pass in our slice of strings. We give it a callback. So this is kind of like in JavaScript's sort function. Okay, that's easy enough. Okay, so let's do that. So available patterns is not going to be a map. Or at least not now, it's not going to be a map. We're going to say slices dot sort. Sorted collects values from a sequence into a new slice, sorts the slice, and returns it. Sort sorts a slice in order type in ascending order when sorting floating point numbers. So I'm guessing does sorted not mutate and sort does? Go difference. Just wish FreeCodeCamp had a better GUI. You don't like FreeCodeCamp's GUI? I think it's okay. Finding the weakest link type of way. That's how I understand that part. Go difference between sort versus sorted. In place returns a new, does not modify, works with iterable. Yeah, I think we should probably use sorted then when we can. Strings dot split input at 0, and then we're gonna go pass it a function. This function is going to have let's say A, B, and these are both going to be ints. What's the signature of this thing? Oh, did Gemini lie to us? I think Gemini lied to us. Oh, no, it didn't. I'm just using the wrong package. It was using sort.slice, and I'm using slices.sort. Gemini didn't lie to us. This should be sort.slices. Sort dot slice. There we go. And then the callback here is a func of it. Okay, so then we'll do return length of B is greater than length of A. Oh. Okay, now it's complaining. Sort dot slice used as value. Trying to do too much at once there. Let's see. What am I doing wrong? Oh, is it because this doesn't have a return type? Okay, I'm just gonna copy Gemini's snippet because for whatever reason, this doesn't return. And this should be stir. Right. Those are indexes. That's why. We need to rename this. Woo! I don't know why that was so difficult. I don't know why that was so difficult to do. Go output sucks in LLMs because we're using English. You have to use Mandarin for the best output. China is way better with the language than us. What? You mean Chinese people write better Go than English people? I've never heard that. Although I did listen to a podcast yesterday that was talking quite a bit about how like the Kimi and Quinn models are becoming pretty popular because they are so low cost. Okay, this didn't work, right? Because that's not sorted. I don't agree. Oh, interesting. Yeah, they have a higher need for distributed systems. Huh. I'm surprised that would I would surprise distributed systems would matter that much between countries, especially countries like China and the US. I would think they'd have the same concerns or the same need for distributed systems. I don't think this works. The example that Gemini showed me, I don't think that works. Either that or I'm doing it wrong. There we go. That's what I was looking for. BW, WR, RB, GB. Okay. That's what I wanted. I was doing it wrong. It does work. I was doing it wrong. So then what we can do is we can say for available patterns, for pattern range over available patterns, and do what? And what? So I think what we want to do is then we want to be able to come in and grab our design and say, okay, for design in designs, oh no, we want these to be inverted, don't we? Like that. Because we want to look at one design at a time, and then for each design we want to look at each pattern. So I think what we do is we say if let's see, design has pattern, then is there like a strings dot contains reports whether substring is within S. So if design has the pattern, well, actually, hold on. The first thing we need to do is we need to say if design equals an empty string, then we will break. We'll increase our total. I know this isn't like probably the best way to do this because I'm sort of mutating the design on each iteration, but I think this is what I want to do. So if the design has the pattern, then I want to remove that pattern from the design. I'm gonna write some of this out in plain in pseudocode first, and then I'll go back and implement. So we need to take the pattern out of the design. Otherwise, we just continue the loop. Well, what happens if there's multiple? Oh shit! I didn't think about this. Sorry guys, I'm trying not to ignore you, but I'm also trying to keep the problem in my head at the same time. What's up, Pablo? No bot announcements today? Oh, did my bot not? Maybe my bot crashed. Oh, yeah, it didn't announce. I wonder if my bot crashed. Hold on one sec. Let me go and check it out. Shit, I haven't logged into that in a minute. That would be let's see. Steve's bot work. Looks like it's still running. Oh. I think I do need to restart it. Hold on. Let's look at Seek. Yeah, we don't have any logs. Well, we have logs from the webhook, but we don't have any logs for the worker in the last day. So it crashed. Okay, let me restart it real quick. Restart. Let's see if we start getting logs coming in from it. There we go. It's back up and running now. So let's see if we can force the alert over to Discord. I think if we go to YouTube Studios and we go to Content Lives, I think if we just edit the description. That. There we go. Now there's a Discord alert. Thank you, Pablo, for alerting me to the fact that my bot died. That's so funny. Renee, Steven got 1 million views. Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? I posted that on the channel. It's kind of crazy. 1 million views in 28 days seems like a lot to me. Vanilla. I want puzzles like this. Yeah, go to Advent of Code, Vanilla. You'll find it there. Here, I'll put the link down below. AOC. That's where you'll find it. Well, this link will be 2025, but you can go from that link to the actual place. All right, back to it. So I think if design has pattern, then I want to remove it. So how do I remove it? Strings dot replacer. I don't know how to do this. and go replace substring with empty string. Or I guess I could build up a mat. No, I don't want to build up a mat. Strings dot replace original string substring to replace replacement string -1. -1 for in indicates no limit on replacements. Strings dot replace all takes the original string. I honestly don't know if this is the right thing to do, but we're gonna say design equals strings dot replace all design pattern I'm thinking, well, why do we even care to check? Why not just do the replacement and see what happens? And just empty. We're just going to replace it with an empty string. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this. So then total can start at 0, and we'll just see what happens when we run this. I'm not totally confident in this answer that this actually does what I think it does. But we'll see. Got 0 but wanted 6. Oh, that's because I need to actually return. Got 0 but wanted 6 still. Okay, so let's do some printing here. Format.println design. And then let's see, pattern. By the way, huge recommendation, name your functions day x part 1. Oh, that's a good idea. If all of them are the same, you'll struggle to find them. Yeah, I can't really grep for them. But I do have them in separate files, but they aren't named different things. Well, that's not very helpful. That's not very helpful at all. Let's just do, let's just look at one of the problems we know we're trying to solve. So let's just look at this design. So if design equals this, or actually, hold on, let's put this up top since we're planning to change the design. I know this is really silly, but and is there a print? There's not. It's print F, and so I guess you have to add a new line here if you want a new line. Okay, so none of it's working the way I thought it would. So why doesn't replace all actually replace anything? I guess I would have thought. I mean, I guess I would have thought that RW in this would get replaced with an empty string. Are any patterns inclusive of other patterns because then you'd be deleting their pattern? Yeah, I mean that's definitely a problem. I don't honestly know the question to that answer. Redundancy, yeah. Redundancy is your friend, as we found out yesterday from Cloudflare's snafu. Take out design equals. Why remove that? Right? Because I'm just checking to see if. Because that thing sucks. You want to pinch slices and replace the string manually? Really? So there's no like replace all functionality in Go? This doesn't work? That just seems like it should work based on the documentation. I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, I think I'm the problem, I think I'm just using it wrong. Go replace let's say go given Steven replace st or like yeah, replace st with empty string. Come on, AI, you can do it. Oh, it didn't even give me a full answer. What what was that about? That's weird. Last Gemini. We'll just go straight to the source. We won't use AI mode. I don't know how to do this. Oh, that's interesting. I haven't seen it do that. It actually ran some code. No, do this in Go. Oh, that's what Pablo meant by use Golang, not just Go. Using Golang. Oh, are we trying to, I think this is Gemini 3. They don't really explicitly call it out. So I think the reason they do that is they're trying to give themselves the ability to use different models for the different modes if they so deem fit. But I think if you want to use Gemini 3, you can use the thinking version. I'm not sure what fast uses under the hood. Okay, well, let's just see if this works. Because I'm doing that, but I'm not getting what I would think I should get. So I'm just going to do this. And then I'm going to comment out all of that. And I'm going to do... Also, we'll probably work on this till like 6 o'clock, like probably till the top of the hour. Then I'm going to switch over and work on that links website project. So I guess the only thing I'm doing differently here is I'm reassigning it like that. Undefined total. Where is that? Oh. Oh. Whoopsies. Yeah, or you can pop in from AI Studio. Oh, nice. Yeah. AI Studio is a really nice tool. Okay, so this worked, right? So that worked. So then why in my loop doesn't it work? I guess it means that that pattern isn't contained in there, but it very clearly is. It's all the same format, right? Input and what you're trying to match it. Yeah, but I'm wondering, is it possible that... let's see this. Let's do this. So we'll say text. Huh. Yeah, I don't... I don't know. I'm stumped. Hey, what's up, Anonymous? Good to see you. Renee, if design equals, we should try something else. Well, no, this is supposed to halt. This is supposed to halt the inner loop, right? This isn't. We're not even hitting this condition. This condition I would only expect to be hit once we've basically taken the design down to nothing, right? So we've done basically is replace all so many times that now this is just an empty string. Yeah, this is Pablo. This is day 19. So this is just the next day, day 19, 2024. I appreciate you stopping just to say hello, Anonymous. It's super kind, man. I mean, we could do what Kirk said and just... Are you resetting design? I don't think so. Or am I? Hold on. Is Kirk... I think Kirk might... No, I don't think so. I don't think I am. Oh, that's in the loop param. You're breaking a contract, I think. Oh, like you're not supposed to modify this? The Go team doesn't like you. Oh, I could definitely see them not wanting you to do that. But even if I was to take that in, right? So if I did this, right, which this would be a new string, right? Text is a new string. Yeah, that's in Go 1. So, but even if I do this, this doesn't seem to work either. Hmm. Okay, I'm just gonna. Can we rubber duck your approach? Start from beginning. Yeah. So that basically my basic idea here is, um, put these in a descending list by length, and then loop through each one of these and check to see if the design that we're currently on, so let's say we're on this design, we're basically going to loop through each of our available patterns, and if we find a pattern in here, we're going to remove it, or we're just basically in my algorithm at the moment, we're trying, we're just going to remove it. So if in this case, let's say we're going through here and we get to BR, we're just going to try to remove BR from this string and then continue on. Although now I see a flaw in my logic because if BR is, let's say WR is ahead of BR, right? WR is ahead of BR. Oh no, that would still work. So if WR is found, we'll remove WR. And if BR is found, then we'll remove BR. And then once we get to R, we'll remove R. And so eventually, I'm thinking we'll get down to an empty string. You should leave a copy of your pattern. Yeah, I mean, this is distracting from, I think, the real. So this is what Kirk was saying, that the fact that I'm using the design value is an issue because the design value is coming from the for loop, which I don't know if that is the case, but Kirk knows more about Go than I do. You should leave a copy of your pattern and count the strings at the end, count the empty strings at the end. Oh, this should be design, shouldn't it? But it's this bit here that doesn't seem to be what. So if strings dot contains design pattern, just format dot print line pattern found in design. I just want to see if it's actually finding it. Well, this is never going to get hit, so it doesn't really matter. I'll leave it just for that. Oh, I also only want to do. Is there a way I can just say, like, just give me let's get this working for just one thing. Put a new line. Printf should have a new line in it by default. Hey, what's up? Simmound. Hi everyone. Totally new to Go. How's the documentation? I feel like the documentation's good. Yeah, I feel like the documentation's good. So only R is getting found in there. But I feel like BR should have been found in there. And WR should have been found. So why wouldn't that be the case? So if I hard code these, can I say so I guess I don't understand how to find strings within other strings in Go. I mean that's the big takeaway I'm having from this moment. I don't know if this is the right solution, but I'm definitely struggling to figure out how to do that. So design and pattern. So if this is BR, okay, so BR was found in BRWRR. Okay, so the Y. I don't know. %S. Checking %S for %S. Checking design for pattern. Oh my goodness. This thing should just have a new line. Will someone contact the maintainers of Go and just tell them printf should have a new line on the end of it? 199. What are we currently working on? We're currently trying to figure out why this is happening. Oh, you know what? Is there extra space? Oh my goodness. Is that what's happening? Dude, don't even tell me that's what's happening. Let's see. How? If that's what's happening, that's gonna really, that's really gonna fuck me up. In Go, how do I split a string and trim each item, each new item? Is there like a succinct? I know I could for loop over it. I mean, that's the thing. I know I can for loop over all these things, but I'm gonna guess these are problems that the language has already solved. So I'm trying to figure out like how are they solved. So we split it. Oh, and then so there's no There's no more succinct way to do that. We have to just strings.fields automatically removes empty elements and trims, but only works if you're splitting by white space. Well, we're not splitting by white space. So I guess we have to do it this way. So what he's saying is so what you're saying is we need to create some sort of utility to do this. Available patterns I equals strings.trim space from available patterns at I. That's what it was. That's what it was, folks. Okay, I still don't know if this idea actually solves the problem, but at least I know why this shit wasn't working the way I thought it was supposed to work. Let's see, range. always trim your strings, people. That's the lesson we learned. Okay, so we'll do this. Okay, Pablo said it's okay to mutate this as long as we're not changing the original array we're iterating over. So let's go ahead and just do what we were doing. So we'll have a total equals 0, and then we'll have a check here that says if design has become an empty string, we will exit and we will increment our total by 1. Otherwise, we'll just keep doing design equals strings dot replace all design pattern empty. Excuse me. Alright, that still didn't work. Curse you! Let's just add that statement back in. What's Elixir built on? I don't know. Oh, that's what you guys are already talking about that, sorry. I find Elixir and Phoenix amazing to work with. The library and main code are very stable and well documented. I've never worked with either of those languages. Ask Gemini if you can modify design like that. Let's see. We can ask him. This is an anti-AI. Well, I don't mind using AI to correct me if my misunderstanding is incorrect. Let's see. I've got this code. Me and chat are debating whether we can reassign to design within the inner loop. Are we fucking stupid? Oh shoot, dang it, I didn't fucking... Sorry, hold on. No, we're good. I didn't copy the right code, sorry. You probably need to do designs index equals. Pablo, perfect. Well, Gemini's gonna set us straight. The short answer is yes, you can reassign it. It will behave exactly how you wrote it locally, but it might not do what you want globally. Here's the breakdown of what is actually happening versus what you might expect. Persistence design maintains its state throughout the duration of the inner loop. Design is stripes, pattern S. Design becomes stripes. So regarding, you are right. You can reassign it. The subsequent inner loop iterations will work against the modified string. It does not update the source. Using strings.replace all inside a loop is dangerous for algorithm logic because it is greedy and order dependent. Well, I think if that's actually true, I mean, that's fine. I don't care if, I mean, we can test this too really quick, can't we? Like, we can just do this. Or we could just do, yeah. So something's off because, oh, whoops. Oh my gosh. Is that why that wasn't working? Because I wasn't returning the total? So maybe it was working. Yeah, okay. So it was working, but we are not getting the right value. So we got 3, but wanted 6. So format. Sorry, guys. That was my bad. We're just going to print design. And then pattern. And hold on. I think my test code might be wrong too. It says we want 6, but we don't want 6, do we? That would be like all the designs, right? No, 6 of the 8 designs are possible. So obviously my algorithm is a bad algorithm because it's missing edge cases. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to solve this one the next 3 minutes. By the way, keep up with the stream and short. Love the vibe, your personality, and concept. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. That's super kind. Yeah, my plan is to just keep working, keep doing stuff on stream. I mean, the fact of the matter is like, even if I wasn't streaming, I would still be here working on this stuff, you know? So I figure, well, if I'm going to be here anyways, why not stream it, you know? I don't see any modification on the resulting array. No, it's not modifying the resulting array, but that's not what I was trying to do. I was basically just trying to check to see if the patterns can be made from the design, um, or if the design can be made from the available patterns. So it's really just this that I was trying to accomplish, was like, can I use the available patterns to iterate the design down to an empty string? But I think we're having an issue with the way we're matching for things. I'm gonna do format.printf design is going to be %s %b use a debugger. That's what I'm hearing in my head. Steven, use a debugger. Interesting. So it is removing. Okay, so there's something going on here with space again, right? So it got this down to empty. Now total should be 1. It got this down to empty. Total should be 2. So that's weird. Let's see. Let's make this a little bit easier for us to debug. Design total D. So we always expect it to be, if we did find something, we expect it to be empty at the end. And if the total should be incremented. So let's do this guy. Let's print this twice. We'll print it out once at the beginning of the loop and once at the end of the loop. Design before. Design after. What's up, Arvin? Good morning, man. Norsec. Hey, Steven, how have you been? I've been good, yeah. No complaints, man. We're with a little bit of struggle bus this morning, but we're here, and we're working through it, you know? We're having a good time. We're drinking some coffee. Pablo's trying to help sort me out. Do the total plus plus right before the printf that you did. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, aren't you? I think I have that in the wrong place, didn't I? I guess I was trying to avoid iterating through all the patterns if it wasn't necessary. Yeah. Pablo, 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 all Pablo does is he comes to my streams and then he fixes my buggy code. I feel, I feel so horrible. You can still break inside the loop if you need that. Yeah, that's, I mean, it's probably smart, right? Like you probably don't need to, you probably don't need to keep iterating if you've gotten to this point. Uh, I don't, I'm guessing this is not going to work on my real world input though, if I had to guess. But it does work with my my sample. Oh, and let me take out those stupid print lines I have down here. Steven, I've been addicted to doing hack the box challenges. Just yesterday I realized that I can use OpenVPN to have no limit on my virtual machine and I can just use my own Linux terminal. Nice, dude. And new mouse is arriving today. Dude, you're having a great time. Figuring shit out, getting new toys. That's awesome, dude. Imagine someone told Steven that earlier. Yeah, right? We solved it right at 6 almost though. So I think it's time for a coffee refill and then we'll switch over and we'll work on we'll switch over and do a little web dev. I'm gonna grind today. Nice. Pablo, you can also do your previous code, but do the replace all before the if statement. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's better. Oh, like this? Yep. Pablo, you're genius. Order of operations is important. So basically, in some of those edge cases, we were reaching empty at the very end, at the very end of the patterns, but not, so we weren't getting back to the top of the loop to check if it was now empty. So that was the problem. So let's try real quick on our example input. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna move on, but maybe I'll come back tomorrow and screw around with it. With puzzle. So this was, I guess we expect negative. We don't know what to expect, so we'll just expect -1 for now. Oh goodness, index out of range with length. Where are we indexing? Line 12? I just said I wasn't gonna spend any time on it, but now I can't help myself. So is our buggy code here? Oh, that's because there's no input in that file. That's because that file's empty. That's hilarious. And that's also because the file is empty and Steven didn't write any checks to handle if the file is empty. Now let's see what happens. got 305 is what my 305 is what my solution produced. So let's test that against the Advent of Code website. That's not right. Your answer is too high. Damn it. So we know it should be. We can come back and work on this again. So we know it should be. I mean, I guess we know we have some information. Result should be less than 305. Or no, if result is greater than or equal to 305. Alright, I'm gonna go refill my coffee cup and then we're gonna switch from puzzle solving to building a little website with Go. LOL, if you judge me for the language I use, I have bad news for you. Dude, you know how to tell them. They got you stuck doing TS. They should unleash your talent. TypeScript's a great language, though. Yeah, it was too high, Pablo. Norsec. Oh, and I also run Ubuntu 24.04 by WSL, so other times when I downloaded something, it would show only in my Windows downloads folders, but now modified it so that my Linux terminal has a new directory. Well, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad you're getting your setup just the way you like it. The Hack the Box challenges are fun. I've done a couple of those. You have to pay for that website though, right? Hack the Box? You have to have like a subscription to go beyond a certain point, right, Norsec? Arvin, alright, just came to say hi. I have to go. Hopefully tomorrow's stream I won't oversleep. Oh, no worries, Arvin. Thanks for stopping in just to say hey, man. We appreciate that. It's super kind. Definitely want to get your sleep. I wish life was as easy as language equals skill. Oh man, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be easy like that? Although sometimes I feel that way. You know, like sometimes I think people who, like, for example, sometimes I think to myself, people who can write assembly are more skilled than me. Or people that can write and understand Rust are more skilled than me. Alright, so we'll need our styles, we'll need our templates. And I think today we'll just work on the design. Like, we'll get the design the way we want it, and then we can work on loading the data from an external source the next time. Because that should be a pretty simple way to solve it. So we are on localhost 777. Okay, we're gonna come back and do that, but first, coffee. Appreciate y'all being here, hanging out with me. Pablo, I appreciate you helping me through my problem. But I understand if you guys need to go. Don't expect anybody to just look at an empty chair. So if you're gonna head out, thank you for hanging out. And I will be right back. You can learn assembly in a day or two. You think? I don't know, man. I don't know if I can. It took me 15 days to learn Go. Until this day, I have never done anything with Sass. You mean like Sass, like the CSS preprocessor? I don't think I've ever worked with it either. I love that ASCII animation. Thank you. Yes, I'm very proud of it. This took like an hour or so to write this, and the largest point in time was fiddling with the Steam. But thank you for appreciating it. I was very excited when I got it. All right, be right back. I know I didn't solve that. I know I didn't solve that admin to code problem, but I just can't help but think to myself, like, programming and coding is so much fun. And if I have to give it up to LLMs, I'm gonna be really pissed about it. I will happily move on with my life, but I'll be kind of pissed. It's just so fun to, like, be stuck and then get unstuck and then get stuck. You know what I mean? And like you're trying to figure it out and you're trying to put things exactly the way they should be. I don't know. Maybe that means there's something wrong with my brain or something weird with my brain that I find enjoyment in that. Pablo is God's chosen programmer. I love that. Did you also, Pablo, by the way, did you ever start your new, didn't you tell us you were getting a new gig? Did you ever start that? Math is not needed for most programming work. Yeah, I think that's the biggest misconception. I think that's by far the biggest misconception about programming and coding is that it's very math intensive. I feel like logic is far more important. Like being able to think logical and clearly is probably a more valuable skill than math is. Although I think it probably, like, if you're doing like game development, I would imagine you got to know your maths. The Argentina Bill Gates. Programming is logic plus language. Yeah, yeah. There's a guy that I like to follow online. His name's David Whitney. He lives in the UK. I think. I think he works for a company called New Day. They're like in the financial services space. But I really enjoy the way he basically, I enjoy the way he talks about programming and coding. He talks about it kind of the way you're describing it, Pablo, about it being this, like, it's very intentional, right? You got to care about the language you use and the words you write, and he brings like a very like artistic perspective to programming and coding, which I really like. I stopped it because I just realized that I have changes that I need to probably pull down, or I have changes I haven't pushed up. Damn it. Okay, well that's okay. That's all right. We'll just there wasn't a lot that we changed. Math is not needed for 90% of programming. Yeah, and I would guess when you do need it, you go deep and you figure out a very complex problem and then you just reuse the solution, right? Math is important for coding, in my humble opinion. Sorry, gents. You really think so, Renee? Like, do you think it's important to, like, in order to understand, like, what, I guess, I don't mean to ask, like, why do you think it's important in, like, an argumentative way? I'm just curious to get your perspective. Because in my experience with a lot of the programming and coding that I've done, it just hasn't come up. Yeah, lots of coders I know who don't know math, but maybe I'm biased because I have a math degree. Well, yeah, I mean, you definitely could be biased then. The same way I think that science is the answer to most problems because I got a degree in biochemistry, so I think you should just use science as the tool to solve all things. But I'm just curious, like, what you found math helps you with, because maybe that would motivate me to know my maths better. Do you need math for hacking, chat? I honestly don't know. I've never done hacking. I mean, I've done the hack the box challenges, but I've never actually done any kind of like actual hacking. He said to calculate all the money from stolen details. That's how it would be important for hacking. That's hilarious. The problem-solving skill is not related to math. It may be used in math, but it's its own problem. It's its own skill. I would agree with that 100%. But I was just curious if maybe there was some particular area of math or some particular knowledge that Renee has that has helped him, in his programming or coding life that maybe I've just haven't been exposed to. Because I know that I'm fairly new to programming and coding, so I know there's so much I just don't know because I've never had the experience to work with it. All right, so I'm going to lay out the basic structure here. So I think the basic structure we're looking for is that link tree view. So we're going to have an image. I actually think I want an image. Oh, OBS disconnected. We already decided that was going to be the source for my GitHub profile. So Steven's picture. And actually, I wonder if Gemini could generate us like some alt text for it. Upload files. Can you generate some alt text for me for this image? Because I know the way I write alt text isn't really the way you should write alt text. So maybe Gemini will do it better. There we go. That's much better alt text than I would have written. Far more descriptive. And then the source for this is going to be GitHub. So we'll say github.com. The only problem with my approach here is that alt text could become incorrect if that alt text could be incorrect if I ever change my profile picture, but I don't intend to change it anytime soon, so it'll be fine. Yep, that's the right link, which is great. And then we're gonna have some links here. So Pablo said you should put this in a nav, which is the exact right thing. It should have a unordered list. That unordered list should have, let's just start with 4 links. And each of those LI should have an A. That didn't work. Just the approach to problem solving in math. Understanding algebra, functions, formula has personally helped me jump the curve in many areas, but I will admit it's not key to programming. I think that's totally like, I think what you're expressing, Renee, is this idea that the way you found that you learned how to solve problems was through your experience in learning math, right? I think that's kind of what you're expressing, and I would express the same thing from my experience in going through my educational path, being very science laden, and the scientific method of being able to make a hypothesis, run experiments, draw conclusions from those experiments, and just repeat that loop. So like, I would say the same thing myself, is like, I think the meta skill that sits above it is the problem solving. But I totally see your point about how math is a really great way to exercise that skill and build that skill. 100%. How do you at someone in the chat? I just type I don't know if it's different for you guys, but in my world, I just type at and then your username, and it lets me tag you. But I don't know if that's how it works on the actual YouTube app. Part of me thinks I should have started with C++ first for a deeper understanding on the logic of things. I don't think you necessarily need to start with a lower level language to practice problem solving and logic. I think that's just reps. That's lots of programming, lots of solving problems. Yeah. I don't think there's I don't think that's requires a particular language, in my opinion. And 199, I'm in the same position. I don't have any formal learning either, so yeah. You're gonna be just fine. You're gonna be just fine, man. Hey, what's up, Toad Sage? Seems like someone got consistent. What do you mean? You mean consistent with streaming? Yeah, we've been streaming every morning for like 40 plus days almost. On mobile, it won't autofill. Huh, interesting. Norsec, bruh. What do you mean, bruh? And I CBA to type some. Oh, but enjoy the Python stuff so far anyway. Yeah, the Python will be fine, man. You're fine. I think if you've picked Python as your first language, do that. You're gonna be just stick with that. You don't need to jump around to other languages. You know, start with one, get really confident, feel comfortable in it, and then move to something else. Simba, how long did it take you to get comfortable with JavaScript? Probably a year. It's kind of weird. So the whole reason, so the company I work for, we have a formula engine in our product, and our formula engine is based on JavaScript. So I was probably writing JavaScript for like a good year or 6 months before I knew that's what I was doing. So I had some exposure to JavaScript before I actually sat down and went through the free Codecamp curriculum. So take that for what it's worth. But I feel like after about, I don't know, 3 to 6 months of learning on the free Codecamp, I felt like I was getting more and more comfortable with JavaScript. And then I'd say probably at a year, I felt like anybody could really hand me a problem and I could probably implement it or attempt to implement it using JavaScript, right? Like if somebody asked me to build something, I could sit down and build a backend and build a front end using JavaScript if you asked me to. But so much to me, so much of skill acquisition just comes down to repetition, number of reps in a given amount of time. So who knows, if you got the same number of reps as I did in a smaller amount of time, maybe it would come faster to you. You know what I mean? So it's always hard to take someone else's experience and transpose it onto yours. It's difficult. Totage. I do think C and C++ help to understand the concept better in case of memory. Oh yeah, that makes sense because you have to do actual manual memory management. But as far as like logical execution, right, logical flow of programs, right, I don't necessarily think it's any different than something like Python. I mean, you still have to understand like order of execution and how you want your code to run and making it readable and making it make sense. Like I think that's pretty ubiquitous across any programming language. By consistent, I meant now it's a fixed time period. Yeah, so Toastage, I don't know if you were here when we talked about this. I switched from kind of a couple hours spread throughout the day to doing a couple hours just every morning because I felt like every time I would sit down to stream and write some code, as soon as I would get started, I'd have to end the stream. So that's why we moved it to the morning, because the morning guarantees that I have like at least a couple hours of uninterrupted time. But yeah, we're trying to be consistent with it. And it's also nice to see you here, Toad Sage, because it's been a minute. Simba, was Git confusing at first? Oh, for sure. Git still is confusing. Simba said, was Git confusing at first? And I would answer yes, and at times, even today, it still is. I think the thing with Git to remember is for the majority of the time that you're working with Git, you're probably only going to be dealing with a couple, maybe 2 or 3 commands, majority of the time, right? You're going to have git add, git commit -m, and that's probably where you're going to live. Maybe git pull, git push, right? Git checkout, right? That's kind of to me, like you get comfortable with those 4 or 5 commands and you're good. And then whenever you need to do complex Git surgery, you need to cherry pick commits from this branch and move it over here, or you need to pull down someone else's changes and rebase your changes on top of it, but your branch was from a different, you know what I mean? Like once you get into those scenarios, that's when you're likely going to do some Googling, you're going to do some chat GPTing, right? Because you just don't, if you don't have to do that stuff all the time, I find the git command so esoteric that if you don't use it all the time, you're just going to forget it. So it's just like programming in a lot of ways in that sense. Is like if you don't use those APIs all the time, you tend to have to go look them up. Like they exist, it's something you can do, but the specific implementation details you actually need to go reference. So if you're feeling that Git is confusing, I don't think you're in a bad place. I think you're in a place we all find ourselves in. Good morning, Artwork Studios. Good to see you. Toad says the 99% of Git is easy, but the 1% that hit the nerves, man. Yeah, that's so true. Actually, when I worked in the ER, there was a physician, Dr. Risco, No, it wasn't Dr. Risco. Dr. Loy, I think was his name, Loy. But he told me, he always told me that it was like this, that like a lot of medicine could be boiled down to pattern recognition, and so that you could teach you could teach 80% of medicine, right? To most people, but it's like the 20%, it's all the very edge cases, right? That are the stuff that you are really thankful that doctors know about and learn about, because it's the obscure stuff, or it's the stuff that very few people have ever seen before. And I feel like not to liken software engineering to saving lives, but I feel like Git, kind of to your point, Tose, just kind of that way. It's like 99% of the things you do with Git are relatively straightforward, but the minute you kind of want to go off the beaten path, things get kind of messy. Guess what, Steven? I wrote tests. I know, shocker. Hey, man, I'm proud of you. I wish more people would come to my streams just to tell me they wrote tests. 20% of Git will work for 80% of what you do. Yes, the Pareto principle really does apply there. 100%. Yeah. At least that's been my experience. I mean, maybe there's people whose whole entire jobs is managing very big, complex Git repositories and dealing with branch maybe there's somebody out there that's just like cherry picking and doing Git surgery all day, every day. But at least in my experience, like I only use a very small subset of commands every day. By the way, I do learn tomorrow that GitHub and GitLabs are just SSH servers, but without shell access. Oh, that's interesting. Renee, yeah, doctor can teach you how to remove a kidney in 4 hours, but 10 years to teach you what to do when something goes wrong when you remove a kidney. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you could learn how to do surgery in 4 hours, but I just felt like when he said that, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Because, you always think like, how hard is this? And, he was very honest, was like, yeah, you could probably teach a lot of people this stuff, right? But it goes back again to like the reps and the experience of dealing with all the sad paths and not just caring about the happy path. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Our worksheet said taking the kidney out is easy, but doing it without killing the patient is hard. Oh my goodness. We've t- we've completely lost the script this morning, haven't we? All right, we need to focus for a second here. So let's get some links in here. I think the first link will be to my YouTube, right? That makes the most sense. Uh, the next link will be to GitHub. I don't know. I'm just throwing links on here. I don't know what I'd actually put here. The next one will be to my blog, I guess. And then maybe one to my LinkedIn. And then we'll do, let's see, YouTube, GitHub, blog, and LinkedIn. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to put these on new lines, though. Make it a little easier to see what's going on. Yeah. So now I think we want to style these, right? This is basically all this website's going to be. It's just a list of links, right, that navigate people to different places. So now we just have to apply style. We will source this. We will source this list from an external source at some point, but we're not going to do that today. Okay. So now we need to style this. So first thing first, this picture is obviously way too large. so, so, so we need to constrain it. So let's go down here to where my site styles are going to live, and let's do. I guess for the image, I guess I'll just set this on the actual image itself. So let's say we have a class. We'll call it profile picture, and I'm just going to set an explicit height and explicit width. Although we could probably do width and then use aspect ratio. So I could say maybe 150 pixels. And then I think we can do aspect ratio is going to be, how do we set the aspect ratio? I don't remember. Aspect ratio CSS. I think we just want 1/1, right? 1/1 like that. Oh, we gotta apply the style. Duh. That was weird. Yeah, and then we want a border radius, obviously. We want to make it round. Man, it's been so long since I've done anything with CSS. And then we want a border radius of 50%. Nice. Is that a little big? I don't know. Do you guys think that's a little big? I think it's a little big. So maybe 100. Yeah, that's better. And then I think my YouTube links, those will just be basically be boxes, right? So let's go to link. I know, very original. I'm dreaming about building my own escape room with electric stuff. That's why I'm diving into embedded. Oh, that sounds like fun. It's huge. I know some people who have done really well in that field. Yeah, that's I mean, that sounds like a cool. I've done escape rooms. I think escape rooms are fun. Embedded programming is a good path in IT. I have no idea. I've never done anything with embedded programming. I don't really know what the market looks like for that. But seems like, I mean, there's a big company right up the road from me, Garmin International, and they do all kinds of embedded stuff. So I would imagine there's work for that type of thing if you're into it. I know Stefan, one of my other chatters, said he was getting pretty involved in embedded systems. He felt like that was kind of a good marriage of his two passions of software and hardware. So if you like both software and hardware, maybe that's where your future lies. The embedded programming field, I mean, not escape room. wait, don't pursue a master's in building escape rooms. Pursue a master's in electrical engineering. I think that's kind of a cool project, though, for learning embedded systems. Building your own escape room. It's kind of an interesting project. I've never heard anybody talk about that before. If you love getting shocked by capacitors and rebuild the project because a wrong voltage can ruin your progress of a month. So it sounds like it could also be painful and expensive. Yeah, I mean, that to me, that's right now. I work for a company in my local village. We create medical equipment. I work in IT department, but I always wanted to program stuff. Well, I mean, it sounds like you have a perfect background then, man. I think that's if it's something you're interested, I think pursue your interests, right? Like, obviously make sure your bills are paid, but if you have an interest, I say chase it. At street, what's exactly escape room? Oh, okay, so an escape room is, or at least what I'm thinking of, I don't know if maybe Philippe, tell me if I'm wrong, or Philip, tell me if I'm wrong, but an escape room here in the States is like a place where you go and they lock you in a room and there's a bunch of puzzles you have to solve in order to get out of the room. It's kind of like a less murdery version of the Saw movies. Also, Steven, I'm almost done with the library that allows you to manipulate on a grid system. Very cool. Yeah. I think that sounds like good. Sounds like people in Advent of Code could make use of that. What's up, Atul? How are you? I'm doing very well, sir. It's good to see you this morning. Thank you for stopping by the stream. I appreciate it. Philippe, correct answer, Steven. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, how do I put this in like a way people will understand it? Like, I don't know if a lot of people have seen those movies, but it's basically a room that you got to solve puzzles to get out of. We have it here too, except it's free and random people will get you, and it's near impossible to escape. Artwork Studios, that does not sound. That doesn't sound like the same thing. I knew where Artwork Studio was going with that line. I knew where he was going with it. Okay, so I think this is going to go on my individual elements. So we'll say, no, this is going to go on the links themselves. So class equals link. Copy that, put that here, put that there. All right, now we need to style it. So the thing I want with these is I basically just want them to show up in like a basically like a box, you know? So what do we want? We want a border. We should probably actually define some colors, shouldn't we? Let's look at dark mode, color, theme, inspiration. I know I want the site to be kind of dark theme-ist. 6 dark mode website color palettes. I like that. Monochromatic minimalism. Let's see, background is this. Neon highlights might be kind of cool. Warm tones, that's not really my jam. Ooh, I kind of like this. Muted pastel. I kind of like that. Deep jewel tones. No, that's not really my thing. Contrasting vibrant. Okay, I think if I have to pick one right off the top, I'm just going to pick this one. I'm not a designer, okay? And let's comment these out. I don't think we'll need all these, but we can do background BG color, and this will be equal to 2C to C to whoops 2C. Let's see, we'll do text color is E4 E4 E4, and I think that's all we need for right now. We'll come down here for the border, and the border is going to be var text color, right? We can also set this on the root too. We can say font color, or not font color. Color is going to be var text color, and then do we want these here? Maybe we want these on the body. Background color is going to be var that. Yeah, I think that looks okay for now. We probably want like a drop shadow around this image too. One thing at a time. So border of text color, we'll do 1 pixel, solid. We're gonna want some padding. Well, let's start with a 1 rem, 2 rem setup. Gosh, I cannot figure out how to switch without hitting the wrong buttons. Yeah, that looks ugly. We need to add some display stuff. We need to basically add some structure to this. So let's set this to, just to give these things some names. So we'll say class equals image container, because everything's a container. If you watch me do web development, I will overuse the word container a lot. Links container. We have our nav. And that should be all we need, I think, from a naming perspective. Now our body, I think for our body, we want to make our body display flex. So we'll do display flex, but we'll make it flex direction column. Whoops. I like to use the browser dev tools for this kind of stuff. And then we're gonna make these have a gap of like 1 rim for now. I don't know why these are all scrunched up though. I think I would have expected this to flex and expand. Is it that nav element? What's causing this to... Something's causing this not to take up its width, but I'm not sure what it is. A love of surface. Is this regular CSS or something new? No, this is just regular CSS, man. Good old vanilla CSS. Kash Thurigan, are you a .NET web developer? Most of the time, yeah. Most of the time I build stuff with .NET or TypeScript. One of the two. Most of the time. Language CSS++. No, this is just normal CSS. Toad says, forgot to ask, but why are you building a landing page for links? Just as a way to try to understand how you do things in Go. So like, I just wanted to figure out like, what does it look like to have a basic kind of web server in Go, right? So it was kind of a good chance to learn about like, okay, well, how do I gracefully shut down a server, right? So in this case, we learned about, okay, we use a Go routine and then we use a signal channel. How do we gracefully shut down a web application? How do we serve static files from a web application? How do we embed static files? We learned about that. So it's really just an excuse to kind of get our feet wet with how you would develop web apps or websites in Go, because I've never built anything in Go before, That's why. Strawberry Scuddy. Hey, what are you building? It's just basically like a link tree site. So it's very simple, just static website that displays a list of links. And we're using Go. We're using a Go application to serve the static files, but that's all it is. Super simple. Wow, web dev is amazing with advanced in web development's great. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Yeah, and browsers get better and better, man. Better and better all the time. Thank you to the browser people. They do all the hard work so we can have all the fun. Okay, I don't understand why everything's bunched up. So if I do display flex, and I do flex direction column, and I do a gap of, let's say, 1 rem. Okay, that looks good. Oh, I guess not. I guess not. Nothing. It's not that things are bunched up. It's just I need to apply some spacing to the actual. So we'll do display flex. We'll do flex direction. I like Flexbox a lot. So I know you guys probably haven't seen me done much web dev stuff, but Flexbox is my jam. I don't use grid very much. Although a lot of people say like grid is better for doing layout things, but I don't use it a whole lot. So that's okay right there. And then let's actually align this stuff. So we'll do align content center. Is that what we want? Or do we want justify content center? We don't. We want align content center. But we want the actual flex direction column. So why? I want this image in the center. Grid. Place items. Whoops. There we go. You can use grid. So how come Flexbox wasn't working there? Flex. Oh my goodness. I can't stop switching tabs. Align items center. So why doesn't that work? Oh. Because I want justify content. Flex direction column. There we go. Now it works. Okay, yeah. So that's what we want there. And then we want to put this stuff in the center, I think. So I think we know enough to start actually adding this here. I usually my workflow is typically for a static site like this, when I'm just using vanilla CSS, I will typically play around with styling in the browser dev tools before I start putting it into my actual app. That's just my general workflow. If I'm not really sure how I want things laid out or how I want things to work, I'll just use the dev tools to kind of explore it. Actually, I don't want this on the HTML. I'm just going to put this on the body. So we'll do display flex. Also, is it really 7 o'clock? Need to. I'm going into the office today, so I need to probably go upstairs and get ready. And we could probably have a utility class for this, right? But then we're kind of going down like the utility framework path. Like we could have like a flex, a flex class and a column class, but then we're kind of reinventing Tailwind. So I don't, for small stuff like this, I don't mind repeating myself. Say links, container, display, flex, direction is column. And then in this case, we want to align items center. Okay, guys, it's 10:03 time to sleep later. See you, Toad Sage. Thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. Hey guys, we are doing an office stream today. Steven's boss. Why are you streaming on company PCs? Yeah, that probably wouldn't go over very well. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how much. I don't know how much they would care, but probably just not a good precedent, right? To set to set. uh, a love of surf. OS dev? I'm not an OS dev. I remember when I started learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The courses sounded so dang hard. Little me didn't know about OS dev then. Yeah, yeah. When you hear what those people are doing, what those folks are doing, it's a little more impressive. Me, I like to play around with CSS. Other people like to build kernels. Ping the link on Discord. I would love to see those. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't. We'll probably continue to work on this, like a little bit on stream, a little bit off stream. Because like the next thing I want to do is like I want to figure out, okay, how do you Dockerize a Go application? I'm guessing it's pretty straightforward, but I've never done it before. So this app will give me a good excuse to learn. Well, how do you put a Go web app into a Docker container? Oh, and thanks for subbing, man. I appreciate it. So yeah, it'll be good. I'll definitely share it. I'm sure it'll come up on stream a lot. 79 Zamyak. Hello, 79 Samyak. Steven, stop sharing confidential information. But sir, I haven't went live in 5 minutes. Yeah, probably not a good. Just probably like good idea not to stream on company time, or more importantly, not to stream with company resources. Yeah, probably a good idea. Toastage. Oh, Dockerizing Go is pretty dang simple. I figured it was. Like, I figured you just like copy your shit into the container, go build, and then your Go exe is like your entry point to the container. I've just never done it before. So having small little projects like this is a great way to start to learn like the basics, I think, of doing app development in any particular language. Back to CSS. Before I wrap today, let's just do the spacing and then we'll wrap. So let's do a gap of 1 rem. Then we also need our links container. So our links container, the UL is going to be a display flex. Flex direction is going to be column. And we'll set a gap here of like 0.5 rem. And then we'll add some padding to the links, and then we'll also try to, I don't know if we want like the links to be centered. I mean, all the link trees I've seen, all the links are like the same size. The text doesn't necessarily fill the whole thing, but so let's do, you can actually do some cool stuff in CSS now where you can actually nest. So I could do and li, and then I could say padding 0.5 rem, 1 rem like this. But I honestly don't know if I'm a big fan of that. Oh, actually, I don't want the li. I want it on the link itself. I don't know if I'm a big fan of nesting like that, because then it feels like my styles are coupled to my DOM structure, and if I want to change my DOM structure, then I might need to change my styles. So I don't know how I feel about that. So I think this is going to go outside. It's going to be like links, container, LIA, and then we'll just add a comment here. Add. Do it up here. Add styles. This is where we left off. All right, I gotta get ready. I know I pushed it. 10 minutes after 7. Sometimes you just don't want to stop, you know? All right, chat. Steven, I think you have to put your name in it. Yeah, I probably should. Steven, go work. I know. Stream is hard to put down as a as a beloved pet. Yeah, I don't know if your mom says to put down, but you say, oh, no, hell no. Use class names to detach structure from DOM. Yeah, or just don't, I understand why people like to nest like selectors because it makes picking items a little easier and you don't have to deal with specificity rules as much. But when you start coupling the structure of your CSS for selectors to the DOM, then whenever you change the DOM, those selectors might no longer work. So I usually just kind of keep everything on a single level. And like you said, I either use, the classic CSS selectors where, LI is a child of UL, right? Stuff like that. Or like you said, just use class names. I think the nesting's cool. I think it's cool that that exists in browsers now that you can do that without any type of preprocessor. Every time I've done it and then I have to rework the structure of the DOM, I regret it. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Typical stream wrap up. First and foremost, if you want to interact with us outside of stream, head over to our Discord. You can get in over there. Stream Elements will post a link there in the chat. As far as the schedule, if you're new here and you don't know when you'll see me on the YouTubes live again, you can see my schedule right there. I'm usually live from 4:15 a.m. to 7 o'clock a.m. almost every day. Sometimes I stream a little bit later on the weekends. So if you see me live, please stop in, say hi, even if it's just for a brief minute. I always appreciate hearing back from people. And we're going to keep doing more of this. So we're going to work on the link site. We're going to keep solving problems with Go. And then starting in December, we'll do admin of code. That's going to take us probably to the end of the year in terms of content. So that's the plan. I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. And if it's Thursday for you, have a wonderful Thursday. And I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. All right, chat. Bye, guys. Bye, Artwork Studios. Bye, A Love of Surf. Bye, Toad Sage, if you're still here. Renee, see ya. All right. Bye, chat. Bye. Bye. See you guys.